I'm Kelly Dunn. I'm the Director of Safety for GFT, and we are a consulting architecture and engineering firm. Before finding the Safety Geek path, we'll call it, I was actually transitioning into this role as a Director of Safety. Though I had done safety for many years, I wanted to hone my skills and really come prepared for this bigger, more onus task. And I thought the Safety Geek was the perfect path for me to start that process. My goals at the time were to show up in a new way and to lead safety in a new way. I had been listening to the Safety Geek podcast for a while, and I keep calling it the Safety Geek because that's how I know Bri, but I really just liked her whole program and her whole take about behavioral and changing that behavioral and partnering and influencing people instead of directing people. And I wanted to bring that energy to this new position to have new dialogues and new conversations about safety. So my goal was to just show up differently, to show up how I wanted to be treated as a worker and to hopefully influence and lead people that way in our company. The obstacle when I first started the program was just this new company. I had never worked for a consulting firm, but I will tell you very quickly all of those tools came in handy because the challenge that I was facing is I wasn't a safety person for one spot anymore or one industry. This is a nationwide company with 130 offices spread across not only the US but Canada as well. And I needed to know how to influence across the nation and to get that outreach out there and kind of corral my arms around this safety chaos that I feel like safety directors, safety managers, and safety coordinators often face. The reason I went out to look for something different, because as I said, I had been doing safety for quite a long time. I never got to the point where I felt like I was making true progress and I wasn't able to measure my success. And I thought I need to try something different. There's always new thought processes and new ways of learning things. And I figured, why not give this a try? Again, I really enjoyed the podcast. I loved what I was hearing. And I wanted to be that kind of influencer when I showed up in my new position. I originally found the Safety Geek by just searching podcasts. I was trying to find something that resonated. I like to listen to podcasts when I'm driving and running, and Rye was the first one that popped up, and I gave her a try thinking it would be really dry and boring, like a lot of the safety stuff I read. And I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop listening. It's fun and it's engaging and it was motivating and it made me excited again. And I think that was a really big trigger point because safety positions can sometimes get exhausting and sometimes be very unmotivating because you never see an end project. I don't get to see the bridge that I designed to be built at the end. So a lot of our metrics are very elusive. But that podcast kind of gave me a new way of looking at things. And I knew if that was the podcast, there's probably a lot more on her paid service. And so I signed up because of that. It was a tough decision. I don't like parting with money. I really don't. It's hard for me to do. But I knew I wanted to take my career to the next level. And I knew that if I invested in myself, it would come out on the other end. And it has in 2.5 short years. I feel like I've made quite an impact. And that has served me not only professionally, but personally as well. I'm a lot more proud of myself. And I think that's a huge thing. So it was a giant step to invest in the program, but I'm really grateful I did. And the other positive is that I have access to those tools whenever I need. And I'm really grateful for that. The impact that I feel the program has made on my life and my career is, again, the way that I'm approaching safety. I show up more motivated. I've put in some of the tools that I got out of the program, such as the Office Safety Coordinator Plan, coming from a place of influencer instead of a place of director, really cranking out fun communications and an approachable nature. I've been trying a little bit more of a challenge. The next step is some of those harder metrics, the return on investment and things like that. And I've started that. And I will tell you, this is the first time I think safety has really been involved in senior leadership. And I think it's because I'm approaching with that business mindset of what they want to hear as far as numbers, return on investment, and profit. But we're people-centric because we're a business, right? So we can say safety first, but it really is, it's money first. And that's okay, but we have to be able to accept that and admit it and then have that culture of say I always say like stop saying safety first because it should just be part of the culture. Like it's not a checklist. It's like a anyway, that's what they want to hear, right? That's
Yeah.
why they ask for utilization numbers and rates and hours, but then they just want a moment of safety
Mhm.
because like they want the numbers. So when you give that to them, you get a lot more time. So when I first looked at the material, there is a lot out there, which is incredible. And I just started working from lesson one. And then Tuesday happened and I kind of fell off track. So now I go in when I need what I need, if that makes sense. So, for example, I really needed a new way of tracking accidents and injuries. And in the back of my mind, I was like, I watched this lesson from Bry. Let me go pull up that Excel sheet again. And Bry was really handy in helping me find it to bring in that tool that I could use to track my incidents and accidents. So now I use it whenever I start feeling a little unmotivated, whenever I need a new idea or plan, or whenever I just need to refresh my skills. It's kind of my own little personal development and professional development system. And I find it really, really helps. So some of the programs that I was able to implement pretty quickly was, the office safety coordinator when that came out, as well as some of the other tools. And now I'm going to go back in. Bry just put out some more lessons on metrics and return on investments and things like that. And I want to start using that business speak more and more as our company grows. So I'm going to go back and re-pull out those lessons. But I liked it starting from lesson one and moving through. However, I think any way you slice or dice the material, it's going to be beneficial to you. You can just go pull out what you need, or you can watch it from beginning to end. I think the biggest difficulty is finding the time, making the time to go and do this. Usually after a long day, the last thing people want to think about is more safety dialogue, training, or discussion. But if you could carve out even 30 minutes of a day to just invest in yourself a little bit more, to go back to pull something out of the program that you can use over the next week or the next month, I think it would be really beneficial. And I'm giving myself that advice too, because it's so easy to let the whirlwind of your day to day job happen. But I think it's really important if we want to meet those wildly important goals and to move the needle, we really have to make time to implement some of these programs. Scary being in this what I would call a big position. I feel really responsible for the growth and development of our team. And I think people get into safety not for the OSHA regulations, but they really do care about people. You'll find actually a bunch of introverted people in safety and extroverted people in safety because it's not about the personality at all. It's really that we want people to thrive in their life at work and at home. And I think most safety professionals that I met truly believe that. They truly just care about the individuals living their best life. So it's daunting. My goals for this position are to really influence, and I know this is a lot of safety people's goals and it's kind of a buzzword, but I really want to influence that safety culture. I always say I have done my job well when I've worked myself out of it. When at every level, at every person, we feel empowered to work safe, to be safe, and to take care of each other. We have these interdependent safety systems where, again, we're not only empowered to keep ourselves safe, but we're watching out for our battle buddies on our left and right to make sure they're safe too. I think when I get to that place, then I've done my job well. But clearly, I'm not doing it so well because I'm still here. But it's a big task and it's a big goal and it's a really big ask of our team members. But I can't be safe for them; only they can be safe. So I really just my goal is just to take one day at a time and hopefully keep influencing or touching somebody in their life so that they choose a safer path. And if I've done that, I feel pretty proud of myself. I'd say if you're considering joining the program, you really have nothing to lose. It's a great professional development tool. It will get you motivated again. And the best part is you can come back to it anytime. It's like that old friend of, okay, I'm getting frustrated. I'm getting flustered. Tuesday's happening. What should I do now? And you just jump back into the material and you figure out your next right step. So I don't think there's any downside to joining the program. And I think it really could be beneficial whether you're a brand new safety manager or you've been doing safety for 20 years.